In this video, my old pal Rad the Radical Frog will join me for some good old local multiplayer.
Hi there, scuba da ba da ba do ba do. Where are you? Ding 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 ding.
Please, can we concentrate in the game?
Of course, I always want to play as a Japanese high school girl. Nyaka nyaka nyaka, kawa fucking donga.
Well, this time we got a way forward game review. The guys who are famous for making the Shantae franchise.
Shantae's a cutie. She looks like I dreamed Jenny.
O como decimos en Latinoamérica, mi bella genio.
Which means that this game will have a similar tone to that franchise. So that means that it won't take itself seriously. The story will be almost intentionally bad for the sake of being funny, and that wouldn't be a problem if the humor was better. Because in their games the comedy is mid at best and cringy at worst. There is also going to be a lot of in-jokes, incredibly cheesy dialogue, campy anime levels of voice acting, and sometimes they will sacrifice character likability for the sake of doing a funny. Some people love this style of humor, but sadly I don't. And I am mentioning this first because when it comes to the Shantae franchise and other way forward creations, this is their only notorious weak point. Almost everything to do with the gameplay, it is great. Never seen a game from them that's the red bad in that aspect. So I just wanted to get that out of the way first. In this game at least there's some good jokes here and there. But for the most part it is mid. And sometimes even bad. A lot of times the game thinks that the writing is far smarter than it actually is, when in reality they are just doing the most basic type of self-aware snarky type of humor.
Ladies, welcome to my lair.
This is a rooftop. Yeah, not even a finished one.
Rooftops can be lairs.
Yesterday, we even ran into Noise walking her dog on the beach. Can you believe it? Did you catch her dog's name? Oh yeah. Awesome. Totally. So are you guys headed to the fair, or...?
What was her dog's name?
Oh, her dog's name is Dog. But like, D-A-W-G dog, you know? Like how the cool kids say it? Got VIP passes.
Yeah, so scram off.
Are these legitimate?
Yes. And so's my fist if you don't get out of our way.
Your fist is legitimate.
Security! We've got some more crazies up here. What's the matter? Can't deal with us yourself. You calling me a wuss? If the shoe fits.
Misako, her shoes are like hella amazing.
Yeah, they kinda are. Ugh, enough! I didn't steal your boyfriend, but if they ditched you to be here tonight, what else is new? Wipe that smirk off your face before I punch it off! I'd like to see you try, Dinglebutt.
Dinglebutt?
It's an insult, you tool! Nobody insults me, but me! Get bent, get wrecked, get beat, get sliced, get destroyed, and get off my stage!
But you are probably wondering, how can I like the crude humor of Bayonetta more than the cheesy dialogue from this game? Well, the answer it is simple. The humor and absurdity of Bayonetta is far more crazy and over the top than River City Girls. Not to mention that Bayonetta has actual lore and stakes in its story, meaning that you can get invested in the characters a lot more. Also, the dialogue and voice acting in Bayonetta is far better. Besides, I will take Bayonetta turning on a motorcycle by shoving her middle finger into his keyhole over an awful line like, "Nobody insults me but me."
At least there are not fart jokes. Sorry. And the humor reminds me of Panty and Stocking, but with 9,000 level cringe.
Please, can we continue? Speaking about that, let's get the story out of the way first. So beware of a spoiler. Not that it matters much, since the story of this game it is very simple and, like I said before, almost intentionally bad. Anyways, the story starts with two girls at the detention at River City High. Her names are Misako and Kyoko. They're best friends and they're trying to get through detention without dying of boredom. Then Misako gets an alarming message on her phone. It is a picture of their boyfriends, Kuni and Riki, who just happen to be the heroes of the city, getting kidnapped. After getting this new information, they aggressively escape detention to save them. And from now on, the game is about getting answers about the kidnapping and beating up anyone who gets in their way.
So, Doggy Kruger, who is your favorite waifu? Mine is Kyoko. She is a girly girl. She's like my imaginary girlfriend. Nick.
Please let me continue. The two leads, Misako and Kyoko, are mixed bags as characters. Misako is a constantly angry tomboy who is mean and rude to almost everyone she sees for no apparent reason. She also constantly threatens to attack random people instead of kindly asking for their help. She really got into my nerves. Though she does have some badass and cool moments and she doesn't take shit from anyone. But you will probably say, Dogo, Misako's anger is absolutely justified. Their boyfriends have just been kidnapped. Of course she's going to get frustrated since there's no time to waste by being nice. Well, there's something funny about that, but we will talk about it once we get to the ending of the game. Kyoko is more of a ditzy sporty girl type. She is more naive than Misako, far nicer, and if she might come off as disrespectful sometimes, it is usually not intentional. Also, her silly moments were far more often charming than annoying. Though yeah, I admit that her airhead nature can become frustrating after a while. Because of this reason, Kyoko was easily my favorite of the two. Though does not say much. The game has some beautiful 16-bit pixel art for the in-game graphics. The animations are very fluid and filled with personality. The characters do have a lot of funny expressions when they're hit, and some attacks can have a lot of flashy style to them.
Yeah, old school rocks. You tell them, Duke. Okay, that's enough. Well, in this game you punch and kick perverts like Bobby Kotick. Yeah, take that, you old fart creeper.
For the cutscenes you have an anime-styled opening and manga drawings with full voice acting. Even normal conversation between characters in the game are fully voiced too. But for this you will see really good illustrations of the characters that will change for certain expressions. Now let's talk about the gameplay. The thing that we are here for. Despite having the treatment of mid-tier humor of the Shantae franchise, unlike those games, this is a beat-em-up. Something a little out of the ordinary for them. But not the first game into this genre since they previously did Double Dragon Neon.
Yeah, that game looked like my amphibian ass, but the gameplay was good. At least this time the graphics looks nice, crispy and clean. Like a 90s arcade game, like Final fucking Fight!
Misako and Kyoko are your two starting characters. They are similar, yet different in many ways to spice things up a bit. And that comes in the form of unique moves and animations. The characters clearly are not just a recolor of each other like in Double Dragon Neon. Misako focuses on very strong attacks that can deal a lot of damage, while Kyoko is more agile and focuses on attacks with greater area of effect that can hit more enemies at the same time. Now let's get to the most important aspect of a beat 'em up game. How do you beat the crap out of your enemies? And in this game it is very simple. You got your typical light and heavy attacks. Light attacks can do a 3-hit combo by just pressing the button repeatedly. Heavy attacks deal more damage and usually throw your enemy away. Because of this, they are usually better to be used to end your combo. By beating an enemy a lot, you can put them in a dizzy state where you can beat them some more, or grab them by touching them. Your starting grabs are not that great, but later you can get some that are far better.
Yeah! Beat the crap out of cheerleaders and creep! In this game, I can use my old black belt of frog fu. Ka-chow! Beat it!
Seriously? Frog fu? This is your best joke?
Yep! It's a genius one! With multiple layers, like a Calvin and Hobbes. You know?
Yeah, multiple layers of frog fu. Anyways, your starting moves might be very few compared to other games, and I think that some moves should have been by default, like White Eye can't use stomp enemies when they're down from the beginning, so until you get that ability you have no way to attack enemies that are on the ground. So you just have to wait until they get up to keep attacking them, and that takes a while, which is just annoying and inconvenient if you want to focus on defeating one specific enemy. But luckily later you can unlock far more moves after leveling up, which is done by gaining experience with each enemy defeated or missions completed. After that you can buy them in the dojos, which is weird. Not bad, just an unusual method for expanding your moveset. Usually a dojo will be a place to fight enemies to grind experience, or a place to practice your skills, not a place to buy your new moves. But whatever.
Yeah, grinding like my mama. At least it's not Pokemon. Grinding that you only fight bitches and rat-ta-ta-ta-ta, rat-ta-ta-ta-ta for eternity.
Have you even listened to what I just said?
Nope, sir. I am a frog. I don't have any ears. Genius, really.
Okay, now let me continue. You Frogger wannabe. One of the moves that you can purchase for Kyoko is... a dab. Ugh. Now all we need is a few Fortnite dances and the full cringe fest will be completed.
Yeah, Fortnite is like a glitter sandwich. It's look good, but tastes like glitter ribbit.
Did you really eat a glitter sandwich?
Yeah, only one time. Trust me, it's not worth it.
Anyways, the best move for each character are the ones that use your stamina bar, but none of these will be part of your starting moveset, which is why you don't even start with a stamina bar until you buy at least one of these moves. Some of these moves for Kyoko are a drill-like kick that has a lot of reach, a set of upside-down spinny kicks that can deal a lot of damage to a lot of enemies at the same time, and a jumping attack where Kyoko bounces like a ball on the ground.
Look at me, I'm bouncing. This game kick ass. You can combo into combo and make the bad guys cry like an anime fan during prom night.
Please never mention that ever again.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
For Misako will be a powerful 3-hit combo that will deal great damage, a powerful uppercut that sends enemies flying into the air, and an attack where Misako uses her heart-shaped backpack to hit several enemies around her. These attacks will consume different amounts of stamina, so you must be very careful to choose which one you're gonna use without wasting your stamina bar. You can fill it up by eating certain consumable items or just by beating up enemies. Like most classic beat-em-ups, you don't move entirely in a 2D plane. You have an up view of the stage and you can move up and down, though you can only attack enemies that are on your left or to your right and save guns for them. This means that if an enemy is directly above or below you won't be able to hit them. It is something that's hard to get used to if you have only played 3D games where you can attack or be attacked in all directions. But as a player of many retro arcade beat-em-ups, I am already used to it. If you're having trouble avoiding attacks, you can always try to block, which you can even do in the middle of an enemy combo if you time it right. Though this parry ability has to be purchased in the dojo. You can also try to run or jump, though this last ability will be mostly useful against some bosses which the attacks can be avoided or blocked unless you jump. You can also side jump by double tap up or down. This is a great ability to evade enemy projectiles or other types of attacks. You can also pick up weapons from the ground to deal more damage, like in most classic beat-em-up games, but also to gain more attack range. Though every weapon will eventually break after delivering a certain amount of hits to your enemies. Also, using weapons gets a little boring after a while since you can't do combos with them, which also makes all the weapons feel the same with only one single hit attack. It is not like Sifu where the moveset variety for each weapon it is pretty good. You can also leave some enemies and use them as a weapon against other enemies.
Always with seafood. That character wasn't even the protagonist of Kung fucking Panda. I always prefer Master Oogway. He was like the Yoda of the Kung Fu Panda universe.
Since we are on that subject, let's talk about the enemies, which they do have a lot of variety. From high school timid enemies like cheerleaders, bullies that put some dirt into your eye, to more street level stuff, like wrestlers with tiger masks, corrupt policemen, sexy whip-wielding dominatrix, and streak punks with hammers. Though later you will encounter more crazy enemies like zombies, robots that look like the Terminator, they even do Arnold Schwarzenegger noises, oh, oh, oh. I can't do it. Oh, and Yakuzas that can shoot fireballs.
Hasta la vista, baby.
My favorite enemies are the king from Tekken and the boss of the combat tribe.
So this is downtown.
Enemies on their own are usually not that hard to deal with, especially if you are playing in co-op. They mostly will be complicated to deal with if they are in a group. But even starting enemies take a lot of hits to defeat. Because of this, you might want to increase your power to deal with them better. But since leveling up doesn't give you that much extra boost in your stats, the best way to upgrade yourself is by making sure to try to eat every dish and recovery item in the town shops at least once. since that's how you can increase your stats a lot more.
So, this game promotes to be a capitalist. Even better, USA, USA, yeah, USA.
With your powers combined, I am Captain America. Go America!
Captain America, he's a hero. He will take his enemies down to zero. Na 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 na.
Can we continue? Like in most of these type of games, the co-op is probably the most fun way to play it, which is the way we played it. Even if it makes the game a lot easier. Not just because you get two characters to deal with enemies, but because when one player is defeated, the other one can revive them by kicking their soul back into their bodies before it is too far gone.
Yeah, kick my soul back. Kick my fucking soul back like a Highlander. Yeah, kick my soul back.
Depending on how far away the soul is, it will need more kicks to be brought back. Make sure to do it while there's no enemies around, or they might attack you before you get it done. The co-op does make the game easier, though it can still be complicated as long as you don't abuse the item storage in your pause menu, which was probably intended for the single player. Unlike most classic arcade beat-em-ups, you don't just advance in a linear path after defeating several hordes of enemies, to then move into another area and repeat the process. Here, after you beat the first boss, you exit the River City hike and gain access to the rest of the game, that has more freedom to move around. There's more paths to choose from, and a lot of times you can just run past enemies if you don't feel like fighting them. Though sometimes the screen will lock into an area and will only unlock until you defeat a certain number of enemies.
Yeah, I hate that look. It's like the game is being a dick and saying,
Hey, you can advance, suckers. Now, you need to fight these goons.
over and over and over and over again and again and again.
There will be plenty of times that you won't be able to continue until you do something else, or you get one or more items in order to progress to your main objective. Luckily, you do have a very handy map on the pause menu, so you don't get lost and important objectives will be highlighted with a red exclamation point. Though the map doesn't make a distinction between your main objectives and side mission objectives.
So, Metroidvania in a nutshell. Well, at least this game is only 6 hours.
It is Metroidvania. You can also keep items that will increase your stats. Like for example, you will deal 5% more damage to the cheerleader enemies. There is even a collectible about destroying several boost statues. They are either in plain sight or hidden all across the city, and you can only access the secret boss by destroying them all.
Yeah, secret bosses are like Kinder eggs. You know, you never know if it is good or gonna suck.
Enough with the lame jokes and the random references. You are turning my show into a bad Marvel movie.
Sorry, I only try to be a little funny. You know, like dog funny.
This element that I just mentioned, and some others, feel a bit like a Shantae influence from Way Forward. It does make the game feel less like a traditional beat-em-up, but it does help to extend the duration of the game and to make it feel more unique. Speaking about that, the side mission and NPC are fully voice acted too, which is a nice touch. Wish that the writing was better, but I can appreciate the effort. Also, I have to mention that I really liked the small cameo role of Skullmageddon. Even though there's not much to him other that he has a skeletal voice like. As a fan of Double Dragon Neon, I have to say that I like it seeing him again.
Welcome to my pawn shop!
Is that a talking skeleton?
Rude! You act like I'm not even here!
Sorry.
How do you talk without lips?
Unimportant! How can I help you? Might I interest you girls in a stuffed monkey?
The music in this game is good. Don't get me wrong, it is not perfect by any means, but it fulfills its purpose. You can be sure there's always going to be nice music meanwhile you are busy beating the crap of the bad guys.
And make them cry like an anime fan in prom night. Nyek, 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 nyek.
Here is a few examples.
All your fancy toys.
For me, the best levels are the ones that are like dungeons or classic beat-em-up stages like the Skullmageddon Underground. For example, in that zone you only go down and fight several enemies until you reach your goal. The Metroidvania-like structure is good and makes this game feel different from other beat-em-ups, but the classic old-school arcade feels the best in the linear zones, like in the first stage, the high school.
Yeah, go to the left, then go to the right and beat the crap of perps, just like Uncle Sam wants you to beat the bad guys. And make them cry like an anime fan in prom night. Nyek, 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 nyek.
Hahaha, very funny. Now please, can we continue? The River City Hike is a great tutorial level, even with the first boss encounter. It's like a simple beat-em-up stage. Just keep going right and keep punching the bad guys on the way. Also, the high school setting reminds me of classic animes like Ranma.
Yeah, old like animes, like Kappa Mikey.
That thing is not even an anime. The Crosstown, it is more like a hub world than a real stage, but it serves its purpose very well. It is a little confusing navigating at first, but after you know how to use the map, it is easy to go anywhere. One of the most memorable zones is the mall, with lots of shops to buy stuff, and is relaxing music that combines really well with punching and beating the shit out of the goons. So it works perfectly for that purpose.
Yeah, punching in the mall. Meanwhile, shopping is weirdly amusing for some reason, but it works with the tone of this girly game.
My hair smells like a
I love Sailor Moon.
Uptown. You know, the rich population area. The most memorable place here is the arcade zone and the infamous battle with my favorite boss, Hibari.
The arcade zone rules. It should be an actual longer dungeon. A dungeon crawler, you know, like a crap. Get it? Crawler, crap.
Downtown. In these zones there are zombies for some reason, and also the horrible Terminator Duke Nukem's wannabe spams in various places. This zone is shorter than other areas, but at least it has the best boss in the game, which is a Bobo.
Zombies and Terminators? Whoa! This game is like a Skittles fever dream! And I don't wanna get up!
Ocean Heights. This is the last major zone of the game, and it reminds me for some reason of Baywatch or Rocket Power with the SEA team. The fetch quest to fight the boss is funny, and you even get to fight in an aquarium. The boss of this zone is hard, but only because of her Guitar Hero special move.
Ah! Good old memories! memory of rocket power, the Poochie of the 90s cartoon. Ta-na-na-na-na, ta-na-na-na-na. The noise has the edgiest weapon ever in a game. An electric guitar fucking sight! That's over cool! Totally tubular, bro!
Funny you are the one saying that.
Who? Shelby Who or Doctor Who? Nyek, 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 nyek.
Let's just continue. Sanwakai Tower. This is the final stage, and it is a great old school level. It reminds me of the Millennium Tower of the Yakuza games. In this final area, the game jumped the shark, with Yakuza is constantly spamming Hadoukens, more zombies, and Duke Nukems, and also a lot of laser zones.
But it's a good jumping the shark, you know what I mean? It's a long final challenge that tests your abilities. Ka-chow! It's just like that stupid math test that I failed with an F. Stupid math that are only for NERDS. See, I can spell nerds. I am a genius. A fucking genius!
Move on, Jimmy Dumptron.
Hey, it's Neutron, Mr. Jimmy fucking Baggins Neutron. Capiche?
Now let's talk about the bosses. For the most part they're pretty good, with only one exception. Most of the bosses work a bit like a traditional beat-em-up boss fight. You punch them with everything you got until they go down. But before that they might get more aggressive and earn new attacks as you get into a new phase. Like I mentioned before, some attacks will only be avoidable if you jump, and in many of its attacks you won't be able to stop the boss since they gain a few frames of invincibility. It almost feels like they have a bit of platforming gaming style influence, which managed to work very well for this game. With Abobo being by far my favorite boss. It had multiple phases with new attacks, like the shock waves that you have to avoid by jumping. He had the right amount of difficulty without feeling too cheap. He was slow but did a lot of damage. He constantly kept moving around the stage, so you have to keep moving as well. You can also do some interesting stuff, like he makes some boulders fall from the ceiling and then he throws them at you, but you can also grab them and throw the boulders back at him.
Was like an anime version of a stunt girl. He's a hard egg to scramble. Why always there is a giant brute in a beat-em-ups like Rocksteady, Hugo and Abigail?
All the bosses are great. Well, like I said before, except from one. Hibari. This boss battle doesn't work at all. In fact, in this one the Shantae influenced didn't work at all either, mostly because it is too much. The game awkwardly tries to change genres and fails at it. What do I mean by that? Well, for starters, you can see it in the screen. You don't fight in a top view like in every other part of the game. Here you are in a 2D plane and you can't move up or down, so it's no longer an option to avoid attacks. Also, it doesn't help that she shoots way too many projectiles for a game like this. It is almost like they wanted the game to be a light bullet hell. It is certainly too many to dodge while just walking, but it is too slow for a 2D game. You will have to keep running, otherwise you won't be able to avoid her attacks, which is awkward because you have to double tap to do it, which again works fine for a game like this, but not in this particular boss.
That is like a bootleg Mega Man X boss, like Tux Penguin.
It is chill, Penguin.
You need to chill out, not me. Rabbit.
But that's not the worst of it. Since she's flying most of the time, you can only hurt her when she's near a wall, and use the wall jump to get one hit. But this method, it is too complicated and takes too long. So the only other option that you have is to wait when she uses her needle attack that rebounds around the stage for a while, and if you manage to make her hit herself with it, though you will have to avoid the force field that's below her, you will stun her and she will fall for a while, so you can beat her up. Talk is a bit more complicated to do than it sounds, since you will have to correctly predict the rebound of the needle. However, even with this method, the boss fight can still take a long time to beat. A boss fight with these clunkily executed mechanics has no place in a beat-em up like this. It is by far the hardest boss in the entire game, but only because how frustrating and poorly designed it is. And I am not the only one who thinks this. I have heard from many people that rage quitted the game because of this boss alone. And honestly, I don't blame them. I bet this boss must be a nightmare with only one player. Well, since we have already talked about everything else, might as well talk about the ending. Which is awful! Okay, here is your last warning to avoid spoilers. You could never guess this stupid joke of an ending. Ready?
What is it, Kyoko?
Oh man, you were right, Ricky. A trip to the spa's just what we needed. I agree, Kunio. It is relaxing. Huh?
Ah! It's girls! Look away!
The spa's for men only.
Kunio! You big dummy, we've been looking all over for you!
We thought you were kidnapped, Ricky Poo!
Ah, jeez. It's those crazy girls again. What were their names? No idea.
After all you did, turns out that the boyfriends were at a spa the whole time, and the girls are just delusional fangirls, and their boyfriends can't even remember their names. Do I need to remind you that these girls even fought cheerleaders, bullies, wrestlers, corrupt policemen, zombies, Terminator ripoffs, and yakuzas who can shoot fireballs to save them?
Hey, what's the problem with stalker fangirls? You know, I would love getting some myself. A moochie! It's better than being an incel that plays video games like us all day long. Well, at least we can play your favorite video games and eat Doritos!
Hey, I am not an incel, but I do love Doritos. Anyways, back to the topic. Then they punch them into the sky. Jeez, I get it, you must be angry at them. But it is not their fault that you are just delusional fangirls that won't accept a no for an answer. And if you think about it, if these characters were males, then they will be called crazy stalker incels. But since the characters are females, I guess this crazy behavior is supposed to be cute, charming, and funny. Also, we never get to find out what was up with those pictures of them getting kidnapped that started the whole conflict of the story. Damn. I get it that the story is not that important in games like this, but that's not excuse to make it this awful. Guys, writing a semi-decent and compelling video game story, it is not that hard. When I told one of my friends about it, he said, "So basically all they did was for nothing, and nothing matters in the end." And he is absolutely right.
Well, that's all, folks. See you later, alligator.
Not so fast, Frogo Baggins. Luckily, the secret boss ending is a bit better, since Kunio and Riki, instead of just ignoring Misako and Kyoko, they actually decide to hang out together, implying that something could come up out of this relationship, which is a bit wholesome, not gonna lie. Speaking about that, after beating the regular final boss, you will unlock Kunio and Riki as fully playable characters. They even have their own cool moves that you can unlock for them. Here is my conclusion. I really enjoyed my time playing this game. The gameplay is very fun, there's a lot of stuff to do, far more than in most arcade beat-em-ups. Your moveset is quite big once you purchase all your abilities. It has a good variety of enemies. Most of the bosses are really good. The co-op works really well, and the 16-bit animations are really good. So you can have fun with this game, even despite its flaws. Like the gameplay tends to get very repetitive after a while. The combat is a little slower than I would like, and the bad story. Sometimes the game wouldn't register my hits, like there's an enemy dizzy right in front of me, and even though I'm clearly punching them right in the face, they don't react to it. In fact, slight performance issues tend to happen often in this game, which is very annoying. Also, not having more than 2 characters to choose from until you beat the game, it's kinda lame. And of course, we can't forget about Hibari. So overall the game is above average. A good 6 out of 10.
Hey, how you dare! You say this game is only a 6. This game has cute Japanese delinquent girls, you know, bosses, crunch, humor, a dog named Dog. Is like the Adam Sandler of games.
Okay, thanks Rad the Radical Frog. Now please get out of my house.
But can we just play Smash Bros now? Please! Please, Sadie!
Where was that again?
Now! Please.
Later.
Yeah! this. Okie dokie. See you later, asshole.
Well, now that's out of the way, I will see you in the next video. Please don't forget to share, like and subscribe. See you later, guys.